Palantir continued to show its presence today. Price shot up again. However, skeptics are still there. Why? Well, it seems like something big happened today, and the US government is at the center of it. However, analysts are dropping their signals, and Palantir's price might soar even further. What is happening? And what on earth am I even talking about? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. Palantir is on fire again, shooting up to around $117 per share. It's another insane surge, proving just how dominant this stock has been lately. But here's where it gets interesting. Earlier today, it actually started dipping around $110. With yesterday's close at about $112, that little drop was enough to shake some investors. And you already know what happens when a stock starts slipping. Panic kicks in, the bears come running, and short sellers start licking their chops. One analyst even jumped on Twitter, saying, "Started a short position at 116, stupidly overvalued." A pretty bold call, considering how unpredictable this stock has been. Will he be right? Or is Palantir about to make short sellers regret their move? And here's the thing. Despite the wild surge, people aren't exactly celebrating. There's still a lot of hesitation in the air. Some investors are frozen, unsure whether to buy in or wait it out. And in the worst cases, people are straight up selling, cashing out while they can. But why? If Palantir is climbing like this, why isn't everyone just jumping on board? What's making investors so nervous? Well, turns out something big just went down today. And it might just explain all the chaos we're seeing in the market. If you've been following our recent videos, you already know how Elon Musk and Donald Trump have been making government spending a hot topic. Both of them have been pushing hard for efficiency, calling out wasteful budgets, and demanding more transparency, especially when it comes to high-net-worth individuals in Congress. They're not just casually mentioning it either. They're being vocal, direct, and persistent, making it clear that they want real changes. And here's where things get really interesting. Today, something massive just shook the Palantir community. If you thought the volatility was intense before, just wait until you hear what's happening now. This could be a game changer. It turns out that some US politicians just made some seriously suspicious moves on Palantir stock. And here's the crazy part. Their investments shot up by 50% in no time. That's not just lucky timing. Analysts were the first to catch on to this, and now people are starting to connect the dots. See, congressional stock trading has always been controversial. Senators and representatives somehow manage to pull off market returns that regular investors could only dream of. And it's not because they're stock market geniuses. It's because they have access to information the rest of us don't. The problem runs deep. Politicians regularly invest in industries they're supposed to be regulating, which sounds like a massive conflict of interest because, well, it is. And to make things even worse, the rules around disclosure are murky, meaning they don't even have to reveal exactly how much they're investing. If they break the rules, the penalties are basically a slap on the wrist. Two congressmen, one Democrat and one Republican, both made big investments in Palantir. And guess what? They both turned a hefty profit in record time. James Comer, a Republican from Kentucky, was the first to make a move, buying shares on January 21st. Then, just 3 days later, Gilbert Ray Cisneros, a Democrat from California, followed with his own purchase. That alone is eyebrow-raising, but it gets even better. Both of these guys sit on key congressional committees that deal with the exact kind of government contracts that fuel Palantir's revenue. And surprise, surprise, both of their trades became massively profitable almost immediately. Since Comer's buy, Palantir stock has jumped nearly 59%. Cisneros? His investment is up nearly 47%. Now, maybe that's just a lucky coincidence. Or maybe it's yet another example of politicians making money off insider knowledge while regular investors are left guessing. Either way, people are starting to take notice. This kind of shady congressional trading is exactly the kind of thing that makes investors nervous. When news like this breaks, it raises a lot of questions. Was this just a well-timed trade? Or did these politicians have inside knowledge? If traders start thinking Palantir's price surge was fueled by political moves rather than real, sustainable growth, they might hesitate to buy in. Or worse, they might start selling off their shares before things take a turn. And when uncertainty takes over, the market reacts fast. Panic selling, shorting, and wild price swings can all come into play, making Palantir's stock even more unstable. This is exactly why Palantir's price can be so shaky. It's not just about fundamentals or earnings reports. News, rumors, and even political involvement can send the stock flying or crashing in an instant. Investors love growth, but they hate unpredictability. And right now, Palantir has plenty of both. But here's the thing. While some investors are panicking over this, others are still insanely bullish. In fact, some people think this could be the beginning of something huge for Palantir, with the potential to send its price skyrocketing to $500. One analyst even broke it down in a tweet saying, "Institutions have been accumulating. I believe the big boys are buying at $100 because they are playing for $500 in the next 5 or so years and have the firepower and patience to buy the dips or any major drawdowns." The smart ones know that Palantir is the only AI software company with an ontology. Basically, what he's saying is that the big players, institutions with deep pockets, aren't just randomly buying in at these levels. They have a plan. They see the long-term potential, and they're willing to ride out any dips or volatility because they believe Palantir is one of a kind. So while the short-term uncertainty might be making some people nervous, the long-term bulls are looking at this as a golden opportunity. And if they're right, $500 might not be as crazy as it sounds. And this might actually be true. While retail investors are freaking out, shorting Palantir, and calling it overvalued, the big players, institutional investors, are doing the exact opposite. For them, every dip is just another chance to grab more shares at a discount. And just today, we got confirmation of that. A massive Korean institutional investor just made a huge move on Palantir. Korea Investment Corp, a fund managing over $110 billion, just increased its Palantir holdings by more than a quarter, adding over 280,000 shares. That brings their total to well over 1.4 million shares. And while retail traders who panic sold are now running around trying to justify their decision, talking about overvaluation, worrying about shareholders, institutions aren't even flinching. So while some are busy stressing over short-term noise, the ones playing the long game are stacking up, unfazed, and waiting for the real payoff. And here's the craziest part. One major institutional investor that had completely pulled out of Palantir before just made a shocking comeback. They sold everything, walked away, and now, out of nowhere, they've jumped right back in with a massive position. This bombshell was revealed in a tweet. The monster trader Norges Bank is back on Palantir. For context, Norges Bank, which manages Norway's sovereign wealth fund, exited its entire Palantir position back in September 2024. They were completely out. But according to the most recent 13F filing, they just bought back in. And not just a little. We're talking nearly 18 million shares, worth over $2 billion. This is huge. Norges Bank doesn't just make random trades. They have access to some of the best analysts and data in the world. And when they make a move like this, it means they see something big coming. It's a complete 180 from where they were just months ago, and now people are wondering, what do they know that the rest of the market doesn't? And you know what's really interesting? This whole Palantir is overvalued argument from the skeptics might not even matter. Because according to one Twitter analyst, higher valuation isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially for a company like Palantir. He pointed out something most people are missing. Higher interest rates are actually bullish for Palantir. Why? Because a huge chunk of the company's operating income comes from interest. In other words, the higher the rates, the more money Palantir makes just by sitting on its cash reserves. So while some people are panicking about valuation, others are seeing this as yet another reason to stay bullish. Institutions are loading up, big investors are making moves, and the company's financials are actually benefiting from the current market conditions. In the long run, Palantir's stock movements won't matter, because this company is built differently. It's deeply embedded in government and enterprise, securing long-term contracts that competitors can't touch. Then there's its CEO, Alex Karp. Unconventional, fearless, and focused on the future, he doesn't play Wall Street's game, he plays his own. And let's not forget the community. Palantir isn't just another stock. It has die-hard believers, from big institutions to retail investors who see the bigger picture. Short-term volatility? Inevitable. But long-term? Palantir is built to win. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on the screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then turn on the notifications bell on this channel. Missing an important Palantir update might make you lose money, so don't risk it. Also, please share this video with as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there. Palantir is on fire today. Price continues to rise up, almost hitting the previous all-time high. atmosphere is very bullish. Analysts are giving their signals. Wall Street hinted something huge to Palantir. Insane projects are on its way. It's $1.1 trillion in just a few days. What is exactly happening? How will all these make sense? And what on earth am I even talking about? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. Palantir is definitely turning heads right now, and it's hard not to feel the excitement as its stock price keeps climbing. It recently hit around $77, getting super close to its previous all-time high, and that energy is palpable. One analyst even shared a picture on Twitter that really captures the buzz. In his tweet, he asked, "Have you been more bullish on a stock than Palantir?" It's a great question because it really speaks to the confidence so many people feel about this company. There's just something invigorating about watching Palantir soar. It feels like everyone is on board and ready for whatever comes next. The excitement around Palantir has people going absolutely wild with these bullish movements. As the stock continues to climb, some analysts are already revising their price predictions upwards, and it's creating quite a buzz in the community. One Twitter analyst even shared his thoughts on why he believes Palantir could reach a 3-digit price soon. In his tweet, he mentioned, "I still see Palantir going to triple digits, but the risk to reward on a competing small cap is too hard to pass up." This really highlights the confidence many have in Palantir's potential. The thrill of the possibilities is definitely in the air, and you can feel that energy as everyone dives into discussions about where Palantir could go next. Now here's the crazy part. It's not just retail traders who are caught up in the hype. Big names on Wall Street are jumping in too. Analysts are dropping some serious bombshells, like increasing their price targets for Palantir, which adds to the excitement. On January 22nd, Dan Ives from Wedbush, a longtime supporter of Palantir, reaffirmed his outperform rating on the stock and bumped up his price target from $75 all the way to $90. If that happens, it would mean a nice jump from where the stock is currently sitting. This move shows growing confidence in Palantir's AI strategy and suggests that it's set to be one of the big winners in the massive spending spree on AI that's expected to unfold over the next few years. Bloomberg tech reporter Ryan Vlastileka shared this insight, which was also highlighted by Christian Fromhertz on social media. In his notes to investors, Ives further mentioned that Wall Street might be underestimating the huge revenue potential of Palantir's U.S. commercial business as it evolves. This positive outlook paints a bright picture for the company, but it's important to remember that no business can ignore its fundamentals forever. For Palantir to keep trading at these elevated levels, it needs to consistently deliver strong performance that exceeds the already high expectations out there. That's a pretty tall order. It's clear that the excitement is building, and big-time analysts are backing it up with solid reasoning. But, as always, it's a balancing act. Investors will be keeping a close eye on how well Palantir manages to live up to the hype and maintain that momentum. But you might be wondering, why is there so much hype around Palantir? What's drawing in even the big players on Wall Street? Well, ever since Donald Trump came back into the spotlight, he's been outspoken about the importance of investing in AI. Things have been moving at lightning speed, with projects ranging from millions to even billions on the horizon. Just recently, he announced a staggering $500 billion investment for Project Stargate, which focuses on AI infrastructure. Now, while Palantir wasn't mentioned directly, there's a lot of speculation that the company could play a significant role given its strong foundation and expertise in AI. One Twitter analyst really captured the essence of this. He tweeted that if Trump is pushing for that incredibly huge investment in AI through Stargate, it implies that the market is gearing up for a rising demand for transformational AI software from companies around the globe. He even pointed out how Palantir's stock jumped after news of this broke, suggesting that investors are already anticipating a bright future. With only a few days left until Palantir reports its earnings, he speculated that the company might provide growth guidance looking ahead to 2025 that's in the range of about 30% for the fiscal year. But wait, there's even more exciting news. It's been reported that Palantir is in the running against another major AI company to secure a jaw-dropping $22 billion contract for the U.S. Army's Integrated Visual Augmentation System, IVAS headset. The Army is taking significant steps to recompete this multi-billion-dollar contract, officially asking companies to submit their viable options for this essential mixed reality goggle production. They published a new request for information, giving interested companies until February 26th to present their solutions for the soldier-ready heads-up display. What's really cool about IVS is that it aims to provide soldiers and squads with a single platform to boost their lethality, mobility, and situational awareness, essentially giving them the upper hand in future combat situations. This is incredibly big news for Palantir. This platform is cutting-edge, integrating immersive technologies with data-driven insights to enhance decision-making. It combines Palantir's Foundry and Artificial Intelligence Platform, AIP, with advanced mixed reality tools to deliver real-time, actionable insights in an intuitive way. The Army leaders have even hinted at canceling the program, which initially had a contract ceiling of $22 billion, if these problems aren't resolved. For Palantir, this situation is a huge opportunity. If they can step in and win this contract, it would not only bolster their reputation in the military sector, but also solidify their place at the forefront of innovative technology. But this might just be the tip of the iceberg, as Palantir doesn't stop there. It turns out Palantir has secretly invested in a space firm called Voyager. According to the Wall Street Journal, Voyager Technologies, based in Colorado, is making waves as it plans to go public. This company is part of a whole wave of businesses working on commercial space stations, and they have backing from NASA, which adds to the intrigue. The journal also mentioned that Palantir has formed a strategic partnership with Voyager, but details are a bit scarce. What's fascinating is that Palantir hasn't openly discussed its investment in Voyager in any of its previous SEC filings. However, in its latest quarterly report, the company did reveal it had around $53 million in equity securities tied to privately held companies at the end of September. But here's the kicker. The numbers surrounding Voyager are no joke, as they're aiming for an IPO with a jaw-dropping expected valuation of around $3 billion. This really shows that the company is no small player in the game. This means Palantir is not just a player in the AI space, but is also dipping its toes into the vast and exciting realm of commercial space exploration. It's all part of that larger vision many investors have for Palantir's future, showing that the company is diversifying its investments and aiming for big opportunities. With Palantir's expertise and resources backing Voyager, this partnership could lead to some exciting innovations and advancements in the space industry. So it all makes sense now why both retail and institutional investors on Wall Street are feeling so bullish about Palantir. With Donald Trump ramping up his projects focused on AI, Palantir is perfectly positioned to ride that wave of enthusiasm. But there's even more to consider. Recently, it was reported that Saudi Arabia is planning to amp up its investments to an extraordinary $600 billion over the next 4 years. When you put that together with the massive Stargate initiative, Trump is essentially looking at securing around $1.1 trillion in investments during this time. That's mind-blowing. This is huge for the years to come, especially with Trump as a pro-AI president. His administration's commitment to advancing AI technology places Palantir right at the center of this rapidly evolving landscape. With such significant backing and focus, we could see Palantir involved in massive projects that redefine industries. For investors, this isn't just exciting news. It's potentially life-changing. The possibilities are immense, and the potential for Palantir to grow and innovate as it takes on bigger challenges is incredibly promising. With all these developments, the company is not just a player in the game but may very well become a key driver of transformation in the AI space and beyond. As excitement swells around Palantir's future, it's an exhilarating time to be tracking this company and all it might accomplish in the coming years. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on the screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then turn on the notifications bell on this channel. Missing an important Palantir update might make you lose money, so don't risk it. Also, please share this video with as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there.